All right, we're live. What's going on, everyone? What is happening? How's everyone doing? What's going on, everyone? All right, we are live. Awesome. Just waiting for stuff all to start up. If you guys are debating, go ahead and hop in the box. If you guys want to help get it on the For You page, double tap the screen, comment, interact, help get some people in here. Would appreciate it. That would be awesome. How's everyone doing this morning? Getting everything cranked up? Up in the box. I did talk to Pickles yesterday for a little bit. He said Google Drive with YouTube Shorts, and he always he says it's instantaneous that he has debates, or Google phone number. How am I? Kind of tired. What the hell? What the helly? What the helly aren't they? The helly Cyrus? Alright. Here. How's everyone doing? Just getting everything up really quick. There we go. Alright. Top of the morning. You love all the liberal tears? Maybe you should love all the liberal face care routine. Jesus. Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz. What's up, Paige? You want to join? You can join if you want. If you want to join. Have I looked in the mirror lately? Yes. Yeah, I have. And you look terrible. And I was drinking last night, so my face is a little, And you, I like your bangs. Your dad cut those. Anyway, what's going on? What's going on, Paige?
Not much. Are you streaming on Twitch right now?
Is it streaming on Twitch? It should be. Yeah, I don't know what that deal was, but whatever. I don't know what that was about. So like OBS lagged out, so it didn't stop streaming. I don't know.
True. So, have you looked at some of the news this morning?
No, should I be scared?
No, not too much. There's not been any real big development.
Wait, what appeals court? Appeals court let Trump keep control of National Guard troops deployed to L.A. Which judge?
That's wild. Like, I thought it was like
The ninth.
rights.
Mm-hmm. What? I don't understand. It's gotta be like... It said the appeals court said that while presidents don't have unfettered power to seize control of states' guard, the Trump administration had presented enough evidence to show it a defensible rationale for doing so, citing violent acts by protesters. Yeah, but that's not a reason to call in the National Guard. That's not a reason under the law. It's just because, well, there's violent acts by protesters. That's not a federal issue. So it's the ninth. What circuit is this? Ninth Circuit. Protesters damaged federal buildings and caused closure of at least one federal building, and a federal van was attacked by protesters smashing the windows. That's so vague, though. That's so vague. That just allows the National Guard to be set in any circumstance. I can't think of a thing that our like. How do you rationalize this as a Republican? How do you rationalize it, right? Because this is inherently a tyrannical government, right? They're sending in military into the states. This is what they need their guns for, remember?
Yeah, it's interesting that there's no mention of how they were shooting, or sorry, pew-pewing journalists who weren't making any advancements, were standing just delivering the news. Like that one Australian reporter. There are plenty of incidents where they were pew-pewing rubber bullets at people that were not weren't aggravating a situation. So. It's weird. It's like they're so twisted when it becomes retaliatory, right? If somebody shoots me, or sorry, pew pews me with a rubber bullet, and I don't know, I throw a bottle down or something like that. It's weird. It's just weird that they do that. It's just control, and it's against Newsom. I think they know that Newsom is more than likely going to run in 2028, and they're like, let's make some clips, so in 2028 we can go look at all this chaos. He couldn't have his state under control. You think he can control the nation? Just they're
Yeah.
clicking him.
Yeah. I should run. I should run. I'd be a great orator because I don't give a fuck. It's true. I don't give a fuck. I'll say what's on my mind. Can you imagine me running as president against a Republican?
No.
Hurt feelings. Can you guys, if you guys are over on TikTok, by the way, can you guys double tap the screen? Can you help get it out? It's only 3.4K likes, which is not good. So if we can get up to 50K, help get it out on the For You page. Would appreciate it. I'm talking about over on, by the way, if you guys want to watch over on OK High in the link tree in the bio, on the backup account there, I am trying to grow that one. I had an important point here. Once we get it all set up and like the OK High channel has actual viewership coming in, we can put out like a Google number or some call-in number and get some people on in that way. The only thing is I was talking to Pickles last night about setting up TikTok live studio. I was talking about setting that up within OBS, and then that way it's like the high quality one, whatever. But that'll solve a lot of issues.
It's interesting. It's interesting how the visuals kind of change when it goes through TikTok.
Yeah, it's the audio delay and there's a bunch of stuff. I hope I get it done here soon. I did talk to him about how I would do it. I don't know though. We'll see. Anyway, I don't know. We got this person here. Eey.
Jesus.
Hello.
How you doing today?
What's going on, Slowy?
Not much. Thanks for having me up.
So, what's going on? What's your take?
Well, you were just talking about the National Guard. Do you care to talk about that?
What about it? What part? I don't know.
Hold on 1 second. My son just walked up and was asking me something real quick. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry.
Mm. No new wars. It's fantastic.
Oh,
Just quickly,
do
hold
you?
on, Chloe. Hold on, Chloe. Can you guys make sure that you're tapping your screen, sharing the live, hitting the team heart up on the left-hand corner next to Dude's name? If you're not following this account, please make sure you're following this account.
Yeah, see if we can get it out to some people. Sorry, go ahead, slowly.
Um, I disagree with the thought that Trump did what he did to establish authoritarian principles or ideologies or to establish himself as an authoritarian. Gavin Newsom failed to uphold his moral duty in protecting the federal agents by when they started to be attacked by citizens. So
Does
as
that
a
apply to
result of
Trump
that,
too?
huh?
Does that apply to Trump?
Well, what do you mean? Does that apply to Trump? So Trump had to do what he did in order to protect the
Or
federal
does it
agents.
apply on No, on January 6th, does it apply there? Because he didn't send in the National Guard to protect people.
So people, there was no federal investigation going on at January 6th. That was just a riot.
There's no federal. I don't understand what you're saying. He didn't send in the National Guard there. So wouldn't that make him responsible
So,
for failing the agents there?
so the difference is ICE was operating under federal authority to investigate and detain, and they were held against their will and physically attacked. The local authority can't assist in the arresting or investigation or upholding a federal law, but they can protect the agents from being attacked, which is where
Right.
Gavin
So
failed.
right, but didn't Trump fail on January 6th?
So, what federal investigation was taking place January 6th?
Why does a federal investigation need to be a qualifier? And what I don't know what federal investigation you're talking about. Like, federal agents were assaulted.
ICE?
No, federal agents were assaulted.
So, ICE is a federal agency. They uphold the federal immigration laws.
I'm aware.
They have the authority, the same authority as the FBI and Fish and Wildlife. They are a federal agency.
Right. Right, but why doesn't that extend to January 6th? Donald Trump allowed federal officers to be assaulted and didn't call in the National Guard.
What federal officers were being assaulted?
There are federal officers at the Capitol. The Capitol Police are federal.
So there was no investigation
Not
being
just them.
impeded. Do you understand?
Why does there need to be an investigation being impeded to call the National Guard? That's not a
Because
qualifier of calling in the National
that is a
Guard.
felony in itself.
So I
Okay,
don't
so if
understand
there
what
was
you're
no
arguing.
investigation taking place January
Why does
6th,
investigation why does an investigation have to do with you said morally? So
yeah.
why are you arguing with me? Why does a federal investigation have to do with Donald Trump morally failing federal officers
So Gavin Newsom has
on
a legal
January
and
6th?
moral duty to uphold the federal law.
He doesn't.
Yes, yes, he does.
No, he
No, he
doesn't. He
doesn't.
has no federal obligation to uphold. He has no obligation to hold up federal law.
So you're saying states can override federal
No,
laws?
but they don't have to act. No, but they don't have to act.
So what does
And
that mean
what
if
did
they
Newsom
don't?
do?
He failed to
So you
act.
see,
That's why the National
isn't it
Guard was
really
deployed.
funny? Isn't it really funny when protests happen in blue states, right? When a Republican's in office, they blame the governor. When a protest happens in blue states, when protests happen when a Democrat's in office, they blame the Democrat. What point does Trump get fucking? At what point does he get responsibility? Did he not fail federal officers? Did he call in the National Guard on January 6th? No, he
The
didn't. So he would have
incident that
failed.
took
He would have
place
failed those.
on January 6th, there was no officers being assaulted and stopped from in their lawful duty of investigating. Like they were doing their job. And because the
Stop
citizens,
saying investigating. Okay, where is investigation a qualifier here? Where in the law? In the why would it matter? Because if you're talking about impeding an investigation, you're talking about the law, right? What does investigation have to do with assaulting federal officers?
so was ICE arresting people January 6th?
What are you not understanding? where are you getting this idea that investigation matters? You're adding a qualifier of investigation. Like, this is what people do when they're when they're losing arguments or when you can't substantiate your point. You
Well, no,
take the
there's a
fact that
difference. So you just
hold on, you
lack
take
the
the
understanding of the difference in situations.
I don't lack the understanding. You do, and are oblivious to it.
So
Why
there
would
was no
investigation?
investigation
Why would
being impeded on
listen?
January 6th.
Why? Shut the. Oh my God! What are you not getting? Why? Where? Who? What? Where? When? Why? And how is investigation important for the purpose that you're making? Does it mean that if an investigation wasn't happening with ICE, that you wouldn't blame Newsom? That's what you're saying.
The National Guard would have never been deployed.
That's not the fucking question. If you can't answer the question, dude, you're gonna have to go. You're purposefully dodging the question. That was the easy. You could have lied there. He could have lied there,
Wouldn't have to be
and he
placed
couldn't
on
even lie
anybody
there.
because there would be no
He
National
couldn't lie.
Guard.
So if ICE wasn't conducting an investigation, then Newsom's not in the wrong.
So
It's
if
like he broke.
ICE, so just to be clear, so if ICE wasn't arresting people and people weren't assaulting the officers trying to make those arrests, would Gavin be responsible for the deployment of the National Guard, which would have been sent to not protect anybody because ICE wouldn't have been present? Did I get that
Oh
right?
my fucking God! Do you want a cork board with some tacks and some string? It's not a difficult concept. How did you do that? How did you manage to fuck this up that badly? It's not that difficult of a concept.
Remove the one qualifying factor.
You're adding a qualifier for no reason. Why is the qualifier relevant?
It's reality. That is what happened, and that is why things transpired.
I'm just asking
So
you
you have
to
a lack of
explain to me
understanding.
how the qualifier matters.
How the qualifier matters. So there were raids taking place, and people were interfering with those raids. And because Gavin
Okay.
didn't deploy local police to arrest the people committing felonies, the National Guard had to be sent in. Are you following?
Okay.
That's not how this
look-
worked.
I don't know how to explain this to you. Okay, I made a comparison between what's happening in LA
Yeah, they're not
and what
legally
happened on
comparable.
January 6th. Wait, listen. Okay? I made a comparison between what happened in LA and what happened on January 6th, and they were a one-to-one comparison. You were talking about a failure of Newsom to deal with people assaulting federal officers, which, by the way, if it's a widespread protest, this is a bullshit argument, but we'll just accept it for purposes of the argument. You're saying that Newsom is responsible for failure protecting federal troops. That's what you're saying, right? Or federal workers. And then on the other side, I'm saying, well, then Donald Trump didn't call in the National Guard on January 6th, so he didn't protect workers. And you're saying, no, there was an investigation going on with ICE. But what does that have to do with the failure to protect them?
So I'm going to explain this to you one more time. Had Gavin sent police to protect
Oh my
federal
fucking God!
agents,
No, stop
Trump
talking.
would
Stop
not
talking.
be legally-
Stop talking. I'm gonna be honest with you. We're done with this conversation. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Disrespectfully, your ability to reason and ration is so profoundly bad. I'm shocked.
Oh no, you're just
Shocked you.
you should be
No. I'm honestly shocked you can
I
formulate.
will not allow you
sentences.
to make
Oh
those
no, we're done
comparable.
with this conversation. We're done with this conversation. That was professionally unintelligent. Like he does it for work.
Yeah, I had
Paige, thoughts?
I had to kick him from Mel's live just about 15 minutes ago. So I'm not surprised.
Okay.
One thing, he didn't seem to like make a connection that he's like kind of sticking up for the ICE officers, like, oh, they're being attacked, but he wouldn't apply that to Jan 6 Capitol officers because there wasn't an
Right, it's a simple-
investigation. It's so weird. He's so ugh.
Right. What does investigation have to do? It doesn't have anything to do. They basically like this is an argument tactic that they use where they take a singular point that has nothing to do with it. There's a term for this, by the way.
Oh, I know.
But they take a single. Yeah.
Oh, what's it called? It's where they talk about the Bailey. Is that it?
No, this one's not a Mont and Bailey. It's like they take. It's kind of similar. They take. Sorry, Paige. I gotta hit you with the. It's kind of similar. They take. Sorry, that was the wind. I turned that on. They take a single point of contention, and then they hyperfixate on it, so that because there's no way for me to argue that you think this qualifier is important, right? If you just like dig in and put your heels in the ground, and you're like, no, well, because of this, it doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's irrelevant as hell, and they just hyperfixate on it so that they can say like, well, this is a qualifier, this is a qualifier, this is a qualifier. It is a type of red herring, but I think there's a specific type of name for it. But they do it all the time. I watch it and they just dig their heels in. They go, but this qualifier, this qualifier, this qualifier, so they can make them non relevant. And as far as a debate tactic goes, it's a relatively effective one because, like you say, like I sit there and I'm just like, can you make this make sense? How is this any different? Why does this qualifier matter? And he just completely deflects and just goes into, that like ignores. So basically starts off on this entire framing that this is for some reason important. And then everything they say after that is meant to reinforce that. So. But I'm going to be real. Professionally unintelligent. Sorry, Paige, you were in the wind. Did you hit the mute? Zone.
It's still windy. It'll die down in a second. So I'm going to stay on mute for a sec.
Yeah. With this person in. God, he wasn't the brightest. Hello? I don't think they meant to join. If you guys want to go ahead and double tap the screen, help us get to 50K likes over on TikTok. Hit that orange button right there. If you guys are over on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button, interact, help get some people in here. That would be cool. I look like I have one foot in the grave. Well, I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah, the whole thing is he can't really argue that Trump didn't fail to call in the National Guard because, like, I don't know if he's just that not smart. I mean, honestly, it's hard to know if he's just, like, smart enough to stay away from it, if he's too stupid to pick it up that I'm taught. That's what I'm saying. It's a hard one. I don't know because he gives off both vibes.
He's a terrible debater. He gets kicked everywhere.
Some people's brains just they don't oh God, he's in the box. No thanks. No thanks, actually. I would prefer not to. I would really prefer not to. Oh man.
Oh, what kind of adult beverage did you have last night?
I can tell you where I went. I went to this bar called Jupiter in Seattle. They have this what's called Pinball Punch. It's an arcade bar. Pinball kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Sorry, go ahead. It's a vodka, like a grapefruit or something like that. Something, I don't know. It's like a punch with vodka. But no, so obviously he does editing and stuff like that, and I've talked to him a few different times about potentially helping to edit content. So,
Who?
oh, my friend from last night.
Oh.
Love to join my live. Well, if you guys want to watch over on YouTube Shorts and the link tree in the bio, would appreciate it. So this is gonna start going out. It's gonna take a minute to get it out to people. I really want to. So the thing that sucks is I want to run a live where we just get a ton of people over on the YouTube Shorts. I did not update the sub goal, did I? We just get a ton of people over on the YouTube Shorts and have a call-in number, but it's a bit difficult. I do have a ton of videos scheduled out though.
Do you
Sorry.
want to do you want to bring up that account so people? Oh, that's right. Wait, it's banned. Never mind.
I I blocked Paxton finally.
Yeah, these are weird. Did you happen to see? And they're playing. Reuters is playing it on here, guys. If you want to watch, it's kind of cool. There's a active volcano that erupted in Hawaii. It's I don't know what island it's on, and I can't pronounce it. Kilauea, I think it's pronounced. It's pretty cool.
Huh.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks here.
Imagine the entire U.S. military versus North Sentian Island. Jesus Christ. I don't think it needs a whole military. I do think it would be weird to to have an existence as a human where you don't know all of the awful things that can happen at any given moment. That would be nice, you know. You know,
Yeah. What's that?
you don't have any concept of literally anything. Hmm?
So let's send MAGA there. They're always looking for a civil
Yeah.
war. They can practice on the Sentinelese.
Hmm. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be setting up TTS over on YouTube here shortly. I'm going to try to get to it this weekend, if not next week. So, yeah, can we get rid of me? You know, we just need to give them their own state and then push it into the ocean. You know, like Rose did with Jack in in Titanic. Just push it into the ocean. Here you go. Go away now. Bye bye. Can we do that? On the other hand, you would have believed the sun was eaten during eclipses. I know, so some things would be terrifying. Airplanes would be like, what? Because you know they see them. They'd be like, what are those things in the sky? They would have to have like. There's actually like a lot of remote tribes around the globe. You know, very interesting. You see like helicopters or airplanes, and you'd be like, what's going on? You know. Dark Bun. I know. I haven't looked into the Dark Brandon Sunday Night Live things. Give them Greenland. I know, right? But is that fair to the Greenish people? I don't know if they're called Greenish, but I wanted to call them Greenish because that sounds fun. The Greenish people. All right. So the only way that we're gonna get people in here to debate is if you guys double tap the screen and help get some people in here over on TikTok. So there's that. If you guys are debating, hop on in the box. Would appreciate it. This guy says, did you filter out the word job? No, but stop spamming my chat. Are we, the liberals and Republicans, teaming up now? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, really, what you're watching is Russian propaganda take on Israeli propaganda. They're clashing with each other, and we're here. I don't know. How did everybody's night go last night?
It was okay. I went uh I went out myself. It's a weird spot in my town. So it's in like kind of a strip mall that isn't so much a strip, it's like a big kind of square situation. And right in the middle is where people hang out. It's like the back of the restaurants and the pubs and stuff like that. And it's where they have like a whole bunch of different picnic tables and high tops where the people who work there go and take their breaks. They'll have friends of theirs like will hang out there, and it's really cool. It's like with string lights and everything, and yeah, people would just sit, drink, bring their dogs. It's interesting because it's like these people are literally taking their break, but they're taking their break like with a bunch of friends, and yeah, it's a cool vibe. So I did that, and then I came back home, and yeah, pretty much it.
Yeah, I was out until 1 or so. I was tired. And, yeah. Seattle was fun. Seattle was fun. There's a lot of people there on Thursday. Usually I go there during the week. Usually, if I go there during the week, there's nobody. So, I don't know. Um, oh, God. Trump posts on social media calling for a special prosecutor to investigate the 2020 election. Have you not? Has he not failed enough? Truly. Has he not failed enough? How many more times do you have to embarrass yourself, old man? It's fucking weird. It's weird. It's weird. I don't get, like, give it up. You failed. You lost the election in a fucking landslide because America hates your ass. And they're about to hate your ass again and regret voting for you. God damn. Supreme Court sides against disabled firefighters suing for health benefits discrimination. Of course they are. Of course they did. Why would they not? I think by lightning and severe storms. Okay, so I wanted to talk for a second about this. Okay, that was weird. Um, just so you guys are aware, over on YouTube, videos will be coming back over there shortly. I have been working on getting the videos out, edited, whatever, and yeah, it's gonna be so the videos are gonna be coming out over there. There's content going to other platforms. The views right now across TikTok for leftist content is fucking almost nothing. It's shocking how much they've cranked right wing shit up. Um, I've never seen so few views in my life. It's actually crazy how much they've cranked up the right wing content. And if it stays that way, I think we just need to abandon it. I think we need to move on. I think we need to leave the app.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I was kind of hoping that this app would have not been saved.
Yeah, I mean, this this app was very, very left wing. Very left wing. In fact, it got a lot of its start for how left wing it was. Because it was like, okay, this is cool. Like, that's really a lot of the thing with it was really, really left wing, and then it's just like, no, we're gonna go ahead and change that.
Yeah, like the first time in January when it came back on, I noticed an immediate hard right shift. I was My FYP was so messed up. Can you guys hear that lightning?
Right, and it's like, yeah.
And it died down for a little bit. The like all the videos coming in my FYP, the conservative stuff, and now it's right back to like in January. It's just nothing.
Yeah, they crank it up right as they literally crank up right wing content right as they're about to get banned, and then they turn it back down, and then it's like fuck. They fuck with the algorithm so fucking much. Like I don't. It's so obvious too. Like what do they expect us not to see it?
Well, I think it's also because of the stuff that's happening in Iran. They wouldn't have, or Iran, they wouldn't have like diversions. Like, hey, it's not that bad, but look at this. Look over here.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we have any debates or anything like that? It's been slow the last few days. I really want to get so I really want to get YouTube Shorts up over or the other YouTube up and going and running. The OK High, because like the amount of views over on YouTube from there is kind of sucks. But I guess I'll figure it out.
Yeah. How many people do you have on YouTube watching right now?
Over on the main one, it's only 100. It's a slow morning.
Yeah.
It is summer though, like the first week of summer though, so everything goes. It always goes down, and it'll go down for like this next month or so, and then it'll crank back up when people are like, I'm gonna sit at home and do nothing. It's always June is always like that, especially towards the end of June. It's weird. Sometimes there's like Nazi channels are recommended constantly. It's actually crazy. But anyway. Also, I'm going to add in news in the morning. So let's see if there's, by the way, so that's going to be one of the main things that's going over to OK High, and I'll do that every morning, every night. Let's see. I don't think there's that many stories. I don't think I'm going to stay on live that much. If you guys want to support the morning lives, there's a Venmo Cash App in the bio. You guys can sub on any one of the platforms. Sorry, this week has been chaotic. Really, really, really trying to get everything together. Even today, I have to get off here and just do fucking work. And I know it's Rivaderci. I know I was going to go live this weekend. I have so much shit to do. I have to go through hours of video for my lawyer. Like I said, this is the most busy I've been. The most busy I've ever been as a streamer. It's been constant go, go, go. Do we have anyone that wants to hop in the box and debate? So I can gaslight with misinformation. You hop in the box and you can tell me. We can talk about it. You can tell me all about it. You won't, though. They never do. They won't. Discord members? I have no idea. I don't know.
Did you see that there's an internet blackout in Iran right now?
Really?
Yeah.
That could be a bad idea. What? Iran teeters towards full internet blackout amid rising tensions. What are they preventing? Probably shut off Iranian propaganda or Israeli propaganda is probably what it is. Huh. Interesting. Trump says he'll decide on Iran strikes within 2 weeks. This is the real problem here: is that the Republicans have sort of backed themselves into a war. They forced this. It's so predictable. It's so unbelievably predictable. This is something that I pointed out a long time ago. It's like they have no interest in a deal. They want to go to war. That's it. They want to go to war. Is Trump going to strike Iran? Yeah, probably. Probably. I can imagine. I mean, they've kind of backed themselves into a war. This is really the only way forward, right? Is they made sure that the deal didn't work. They made sure that the deal was dead. Huh. I don't know what that was. No, I'm just tired. It was up until 1 or 2. I don't remember. I didn't sleep well. All right. Do we have anybody? Where's the debates at? Paige, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been meaning to for the morning lives get everything prepped before I go live. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. Like I've been too busy with shit, to be honest with you. AJC, appreciate the 10. Thank you for the info, the entertainment, and the work you do. Keep it up, Tommy. Appreciate it, AJC. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for the 10 over there? By the way, I'm going to be putting in, was it TTS or whatever? I'm going to be putting in that in on shortly here.
What's TTS?
It just reads out super chats from the chats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
About to get canceled. I'm just wondering if there's a way to like approve them or filter them so that I don't get yeeted.
They read out messages. Yeah, okay.
This guy's not joining. We got Richie and Macromind. I don't know about Macromind.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
Hello. Doing all right. What's going on? What's your
I just saw your
are you
prompts.
debating?
I don't know what we would debate. I mean, have we ever stopped creating new wars in this country with all the neocons?
That'd be a no.
Yeah, it's a sad state, but maybe we can all unite around this finally. I mean, my entire life, I'm 48 years old, has just been one lie after another. I think we're just at the end of our rope with it.
Late stage capitalism.
Yeah. I mean, I look, I know Israel's an ally, but I'm just running thin on my support.
Yeah, well they're gonna bomb Iran. And then we're
Of
gonna
course they are. I mean, it was
yeah.
in their seven
So
stage plan from 1990, right? Syria, Iran, Iraq, Libya. I mean, Egypt. I mean, not Egypt. Lebanon, um, Yemen. Yep, it's part of their plan.
yep.
What are your
All right.
thoughts?
Well I
Yeah.
do oh my thoughts? The Republicans have backed themselves into a corner that they can't get out of. They've made it. They've ensured that Iran gets this close to having nuclear weapons. Everything that they've done,
hmm
and it's just using it as justification. It's like self-fulfilling prophecy.
hmm
So
But do you see both sides involved? I mean, I was reading something that about how the uranium facility that was started in Canada also had enrichment facilities in Kazakhstan. Excuse me. And those two companies merged, and then Russia was involved, and Russia tried to get 51% stake. So the owner, the CEO of that organization gave $100 million to the Clinton Foundation. Bill Clinton went and did a $500,000 speaking engagement in Moscow right after they were awarded ownership of that, and basically signed off on them allowing uranium shipments. So I see that this is across our government that we've had this kind of twofold. Even when they asked the FBI, they said the FBI's response was basically like it's politics.
I mean, sure. I don't.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
I get
To
it. I
the
mean, I
point that
listen.
you're talking
Yeah.
about Bill Clinton, I mean, to the point that you're talking about Bill Clinton, I don't know about all that, but like both parties, generally
Yeah.
speaking,
I mean,
just sort of feed
you
into
just listen
the
to, I mean, it's crazy.
utilitarian
People,
justice.
oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, everyone's laughing at their, someone, blow their head off because they're agreeing with Tucker Carlson. But I mean, look at Ted Cruz, right? I mean, that's the Republican Party, right? I mean, look at that insanity.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I know you're probably looking for someone.
I do have a debate.
Oh,
Yeah, I have a debate in the box, so but I appreciate you
hey,
figuring
no
out.
problem, bud. Take care.
Take care.
Take care.
When I
What? What?
Sorry about that. All right, what's up, man? I'm here to debate, Tom.
What's up?
I think that America has to get involved, dude. It's necessary. I believe it to be. I think that we have substantial evidence that they obviously are.
Grab your ass an M4 and get over there.
Well, my brothers and sisters in the arms.
What are you doing here still? What are you doing here still? Go become a sleeper cell.
Dude, listen, man. You know that obviously we can both agree Iran wants America gone. Okay? I mean, you obviously agree with that. So there's no room for us to disagree on that. Now, the problem is that obviously Iran follows. They've been following like a threshold. What would you call that? They call it like a threshold strategy for 30 years. That's the problem. So when you have Netanyahu, who's always saying for the last 30 years they are 2 weeks away from making a nuclear weapon, what he means is they basically have everything to make the nuclear weapon, but they use a threshold strategy where they don't put it together. They keep it all in parts. And then if something happens, they put it together in less than a week and they hit Israel or United States. There's a huge problem with that. So I just don't see
In
how
what?
we literally also have proof that they're using a threshold strategy. It's been shown to us quite like clearly. They're enriching their uranium to 20%, but even as high as 60%.
So they weren't.
Why are they enriching the uranium to the 60%, which is still under the legal number under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty? So they're getting right to that bridge, and they're stopping right there. That means that something's going on.
Okay.
There's more than that.
Richie, do you know you just named the treaty that Ukraine is under? The Budapest Memorandum is part of that treaty, but you guys cry about us getting involved with Ukraine.
What do you mean? I didn't cry about that. We don't cry about that. Typically, the liberals are saying liberals are saying we should continue to fund. Republicans are saying we shouldn't give that much funding, but we should continue to at least respect the treaty. So, I mean, there's a difference here. So I'm just saying, like, Tommy, do you agree?
Right. So why? But two things. Why? First things first. Why is your ass not in Iran, or at least on the border, waiting to go in?
Okay, well, that's obviously just a ridiculous question. What does that have to do with the conversation? So you're saying your response?
Well, I was told. I mean, when Biden funded Ukraine for 4 years or for 3 years, I was told, why don't I go and fight there? And I was also told, I was told, why don't I go and fight there? So.
Okay, I mean, you're giving.
Why doesn't that apply to you?
I understand what you're saying. I mean, I'm sure people have said that to you, but I mean, that's just a dismissive, rhetorical move. I mean, like, being at the threshold doesn't mean they're going to build a nuke tomorrow. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they have the capability, but not the weapon yet. So that just means, like,
they haven't.
Okay, Tommy, I don't know how you not make you understand this. You have a car, okay? A car is a car, but if you have an engine, a transmission, the wheels, and the body all separate, it has the capability of being a car. It's just all in separate places. One thing.
That's cool, but why aren't you going and taking the tire from Iran so that we can't? Why don't you go in there and get us that tire?
Okay, so you want me to go in?
You better go into that fucking bunker. Yeah, I'm going to go into
me to
that
steal the
bunker,
plutonium
grab,
sphere?
yep. Go ahead and grab those nuclear cores and run your ass out. Just
Okay, so a couple problems with that. One is I would probably be unalive before I even reach the bunker. Okay. Number two is
this is what you
number
want.
two is I am a white Jewish man, so I would be unalive before I even set foot over the actual border. Number three is I'm also technically a part of the community, so I would probably be beheaded before I even actually got past the actual the border. So yeah.
But you want the war, right? Why don't you want the consequences?
Are you not hearing what I'm saying, dude? These people are the same people that you are trying to protect. They want to unalive all the people you want to protect. If you
Right, but you're not hearing what I'm saying. You're not the one that pays anything.
Okay, so what is the suggestion?
You don't stand to lose anything from this.
Okay, so do you believe that if they get their hands and they actually put together the bomb, are you saying there's a higher chance they won't use it on us or Israel than they would?
What?
If they actually made the bomb, let's say they have the capability, are you suggesting that you don't think that they would actually use it, or would they use it?
Would Iran? I don't know if they would use it or not. Probably not.
Are you kidding,
Like
Tommy?
most people.
It says their religious standpoint.
Anything else would be conjecture. So is Israel.
Okay, no. Wait. People in Iran, their belief system is they are supposed to be unalive on behalf of their religion. So much so, they don't even have.
No,
That's extremism. Knock it off. or something.
no, that's jihadi extremism. That's jihadi extremism. That's actually taken out of context. It is not
Let me
by
ask you a question: is there a
wider
single
Muslim.
bomb shelter in Iran?
It would be like calling. It would be like calling all Christians cannibals.
All right,
Like
Tommy,
they wanna
fine.
eat
Is
people.
there a single bomb shelter in Iran? A single one?
I have no idea.
There is not. You want to know why?
I imagine there would
No,
be.
there's not a
Richie.
single one because they are called. That's
Richie.
called being
Yeah,
chicken-hearted.
because
No, that's called
Richie.
being chicken-hearted to them.
Richie,
They have
Richie,
not one bomb
stop.
shelter.
The IDF, you know what they do? They knowingly send in soldiers that they know that they're going to kaboom. It starts with a W. It comes from Hitler. They do that move. Don't act like you guys are pious over there in Israel. Who's in the last year? Who has been the aggressor? Israel or Iran?
Israel on behalf of its sovereignty.
What?
Wow.
Israel on behalf of its sovereignty. Iran wants to obliterate Israel. They made it very clear. They want them off the face of the map. They will do it when they can. They've openly
And who's?
they've openly said that when
Well,
they make
so-
a nuke, they will bomb Israel. They want them gone.
What Ayatollah was that? Because it wasn't the current one.
What was the question?
Be honest. What Ayatollah was that? Because it wasn't the current one.
Probably the one back from the 90s.
He was in the 90s. Wait a minute. The current one is from 1989. You're talking about Khomeini, the one before him. The current one has been in that position since 1989.
Okay, wait. So
I just want to point out. So wait. When Iran talks about, just be clear. When Iran talks about wiping another country off the face of the earth, that's bad. But what about when Israel does it?
okay, wait. Let's be clear, okay?
Just for consistency purposes.
So your question.
When Israel
So
does
repeat.
it.
So you're asking me basically what Israel, and you're referring to Gaza, right? Is that what you're asking?
I'm not referring to anything yet. I just want to be clear.
Because I think that's like a fault. It's not analogous. I don't believe.
How would it not be analogous?
Because Israel, I believe, has a right and a duty to defend itself, and I believe that they are defending themselves. I mean, Hamas is law. Well, this is a whole different conversation to be had. But I mean, obviously, let's not.
Is it
Let's say
bombing refugee camps self-defense?
I don't agree with that part of it. No.
How is it self-defense when they are in the country?
Okay, wait. Are we forgetting about October 7th? Obviously, I mean, Hamas
Do you know
was a
what
mass
happens?
murder of the Jews.
I literally don't want to hear another thing about October 7th from anybody supporting Israel at this point. You can say that October 7th was bad, but no. You can say October 7th was bad, and I'll agree with you. But what followed was way fucking worse.
Okay, well, what's all?
It would be like following up. It would be like following up. I don't know, the fall of Troy with a genocide. They're not comparable. Don't try and make them comparable. Don't try and victimize. Well, October 7th. Because you want to get real? That was fucking BB's fault that
All right,
happened.
fine. So let's say that.
You can get real? That was BB's fault.
Okay, so time. Let's say that.
How about you put the blame where it belongs?
Okay, so
That was BB's
it's
fault.
easy to say that it was wrong from an outside perspective. Let me actually turn it on to you. Okay, would you tolerate it if 1,200 of its citizens were massacred and then they were raped, babies were burned, hostages taken by a terror group? So let me ask you a question: did Israel go over rape women, burn babies, things like that? Yes or no?
You guys, wait, hold on. Israel, yes, you guys have done.
Yeah, they did.
Okay. So give me the evidence that Israel went over. They raped the women, they burned the babies, and give me the evidence for that.
I don't know if you know what happens when you drop incendiary bombs onto tent camps, but babies burn.
Right. But what I'm saying is that the actual response by Hamas.
Oh, but they didn't. Oh, but they did it. They did it from afar. They did it from afar, so we can go ahead and ignore it. We can ignore that they lit entire places and children on fire. We can ignore that.
It's terrible
because they did it from a fucking plane. Because they did it from an MLRS. Because they did it from a fucking artillery tube across a fucking wall.
All right, so
yeah.
Fine. Let me give you a scenario then. Okay, let's say that Mexico was run by ISIS. Okay, and they launched thousands of rockets into Texas. Would the U.S. need to respond with overwhelming force, or what would they do?
You don't burn.
What would be the
Richie, you don't. Richie, you don't burn children. You don't kaboom hospitals.
Civilian deaths are tragic, yes, but they're not.
Yeah, whatever. I just hope that.
But I don't want to hear a but.
Yeah, I hope no. I hope that Netanyahu. Be quiet, Richie. I hope Netanyahu is caught and he is brought to trial. I hope to God that he goes to prison, is locked up forever. He's an evil bastard. For you to sit here,
what about Ben Hamas?
He was shut up. Don't what about? Do October 6th and backwards. He's an evil bastard. He was about to be voted out, right? And then
about to go to prison.
He was about to be like get his consequences, and then this shit popped off, which is really cool. It's like, oh, this saved his ass.
Wait, so I have a question. Is your argument that the real moral failure here, we need to let Hamas be untouched?
No, that's a straw man. Nice straw man.
Okay, great. So then the question.
And actually, it wasn't even. I'm gonna be real. It wasn't even cute. It was really not really predictable. That's a straw man.
My argument's kind of simple.
That's not my argument.
Right.
That's not my argument. I've never made that argument. You're applying an argument that I've never made.
So where's the moral?
So that you could attack it.
Where's the moral failure then?
Morality is subjective, so I don't want to have a moral argument with you. Let's just keep it to the facts.
Okay, fine. We won't do that. What I'm saying is that the action of a civilian dying is terrible, but it isn't proof of wrongdoing.
Not inherently, but when you're bombing tent cities, I would say it is. When you talk about the widespread of it, I would say it is.
Okay.
How many people have died now?
Wait a minute.
How many people have died there now?
I know, it's terrible. What I'm saying is that tragedy doesn't automatically...
I know, it's so terrible.
Wait, there's a...
there's this... Have you ever seen the movie...
Tom, let me say this.
Except the UN has already clarified that they believe war crimes have been committed. And that's with the exception of 2 countries, that's the conclusion of the fucking world.
Let me ask you a question.
Good try. But I remember this. Hold on a second. I remember this. I want to get this before I forget it. I remember this. There's this movie called Year One, and the movie is basically about like early humans or whatever. And it goes back to like sort of the hunter-gatherers, and then like Judaism is starting.
Sure.
And it goes back and it shows like the story of Cain and Abel.
Okay.
Or like, and he's like beating him over the head with this rock. He's like, oh, what have I done? Oh, what have I continued to do?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Or what was that? What have you made me do? What have you made me continue to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same thing.
don't know.
What have you made me do? What could? Oh my God! How could they make me bomb children?
Okay, so
Oh,
wait. Let me ask you.
that's psycho shit.
Let me ask you.
That's psycho shit.
Let me
That's
ask
like
you
serial
this.
killer. Like, could you imagine a serial killer? Oh, how could they make me strangle them? Ah.
Okay, so question for you. I want to test your logic on this. Okay, my father, okay, he has severe PTSD. Before he ever had us, he was basically in his mom's basement after Vietnam. Okay, he is a Purple Heart recipient. Okay, and has trauma, mental trauma, because the people he was fighting in the jungle, unfortunately, a lot of it was children, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. He's really fucked up because of it. He doesn't leave the house very much. Now, question for you: is he a bad person?
Don't do what I think
No,
you're
is
gonna
my father
do.
an evil person? Is there a moral failure there?
Don't. If he's a baby unaliver, then yeah, I would say.
Okay, so my father, when he was in the jungle and there was children shooting at him, 12, 13 years old, he is actually a bad person.
Right. So again, you're setting up a false equivalency.
Wait, people are saying he committed a war
Again.
crime. Wait, he committed a war crime. What was my father?
Nemu, appreciate it. Thank you for the 500 bits. Well, he
I'm-
probably sounds like he did commit a war crime.
Okay, so did he commit a war crime on behalf of the government, or was it something that he did on his own with some moral failure?
It
Why are you-
was something he would have done on his own as a moral failure. Why are you justifying your grandfather's
No, my father.
war
It's my
crimes?
father.
I
Okay?
don't.
No, not my grandfather. My father. Okay, so see here, there's a difference between me and you. Is that I think that's
Nemu, appreciate it. What?
I think it's crazy for you to say that like that he was put somewhere, and then there were people that were trying to take his life, and he didn't want to do that. But in response, this happened.
Yeah, the problem is that you're trying to frame this as though like this situation is going to be relevant to what's happening in Israel and Gaza, and it's not.
Well, no, the reason I was saying that, the reason I was giving this
So,
equivalent,
They're
because
not.
sometimes
They're not comparable.
the reason why I say is that sometimes things happen that are actually tragic, but there isn't really mean there's wrongdoing there. That's the reason I'm saying. It depends on your.
But there is
Depends
wrongdoing
on
there.
the situations. I mean, okay, yes, you believe that it was wrong what he did. I would say that unfortunately, it was tragic and horrible, and he's obviously fucked up because of it. I believe that what was he to do? Let them unalive him? Should he have let them unalive him because they were trying?
I don't know why.
It's a simple question.
Okay, there's two things here. I don't know why. If someone's shooting at you through the jungle and you don't know who it is, sure. I don't know what happened in that scenario, but that's not what's happening in Gaza.
Yeah.
They're dropping bombs on apartment complexes and tent cities.
Okay, and again, I don't agree with that, but you're actually making the argument that you believe Israel is intentionally targeting civilians. I would disagree with that.
They
question.
are.
They're not targeting. They're targeting Hamas.
Yes.
That's
No, they are. They are blowing up hospitals.
You don't understand. I'm with you guys.
Do you
They're
know
in tent
the Nazis
cities.
were not. The Nazis weren't targeting Jewish people. They were targeting criminals.
Sorry. So then,
They were all criminals, as determined by the Nazis.
okay. Do you? I guess I'm just confused here. Like, then you guys are basically.
Wait. The Nazis. Wait, address that. The Nazis weren't targeting Jewish people. They were targeting criminals. Does that logic make sense?
No, I disagree with that.
No, it doesn't.
No, I disagree with that statement. Can you explain to me what
Right.
you got there? I'm sorry.
That's the same logic.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if I
You're
really
using.
see it. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm with you guys to an extent, but it's confusing. It's like,
He's not confused.
what do we say?
Yeah, you're not confused. You're not confused. You're not confused at all.
I guess-
Richie, do you know what the Hannibal? Richie, do you know what the Hannibal Directive is?
I do not.
Yeah, that's what I was explaining to you earlier, and that the IDF, they utilize this. They purposely send in soldiers knowing that they're going to unalive them.
Sorry. So can you repeat that again, please? I missed the last part.
Look it up. It's called the Hannibal Directive.
Okay.
IDF sends in soldiers purposely knowing that they are going to unalive them. Not, oh, well, they may not make it, maybe not all the guys. No, they know these soldiers, we are unaliving them.
Okay. So you're saying that the Hannibal Directive is essentially Israel is sending in IDF soldiers so that Hamas does take them out, and it just is a reason for retaliation.
No, I'm saying that, I'm saying that they will utilize their own. They will unalive their own to make us like even the smallest advancement.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think
I'm
Tommy.
sorry, but you can't, like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry what happened October 7th, but for you to sit here and ignore everything from the 40s, ignore all the things that the IDF does, the propaganda, the amazing amount of propaganda that they do to their citizens is wild. Like, Richie,
I'm
wake
just,
up.
I'm just confused. The
It just
position.
because I'm pointing this out does not mean that I'm like like cheering on Hamas. But if
Right.
Hamas is keeping Palestinians alive, oh well,
So can
deal
I
with
just
it.
ask you this? Like, let me ask you this last question. And I'll get going here. What position do you want me to hold as a Jewish man? And we have these countries that want my people eradicated. What position do you want me to hold?
The right one. I want you to understand that is the government. Yeah. And as a Jewish man, as a former Catholic, I wouldn't be like, yeah, feed the Christians to the lions. Let's go.
Yeah, let's see. I do agree with that. But like, what about Iran, who they do want Israel obliterated? They call them a cancerous tumor.
Yeah, as well, you extremism meet extremism. And the IDF, Israeli government, is extremism. Like you guys are 1 minute you're tearing up some Palestinians, now you turn around, you're like, all right, let's go, Iran. Just
Wait,
admit to it. You're
wait.
aggressors.
There's
You are the aggressors. Full stop.
First of all, I'm not actually in Israel, so we go put the
there
okay?
are
So no one really truly actually knows except for the people that are there on the ground. That's the first problem.
there is an October 7th in Gaza every 5 days.
Yeah, no, I don't like what's happening to the Palestinians. I think it's terrible. I do agree with that. I just don't want to see Israel eradicated, which is what most of these countries in the Middle East want. They don't want them to exist.
Well, maybe they should stop being
So what you're
agitated.
saying, I know, right?
Well, come on, what?
Like I don't. If you don't know this, but the polarity of the world is changing. You can't be the biggest asshole on the block anymore without facing consequences. We're gonna face them in the United States. Israel's gonna face them too. That's just a fact. You better hope. And here's the thing, by the way, they have fucked up Middle Eastern relations so badly with this. You better pray to God the United States doesn't have a fall from grace. You better pray to God that chips don't get shut off from Taiwan. You better pray that China keeps their hands off our tech. Because if they catch up to us, if they're able to create systems with their chips and Taiwan's out the picture, we're fucked. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Exactly what they're planning on doing. They're going to blow that plan up. They're going to leave us high and dry. And Israel ain't going to have fucking chips for their air defenses. You fucking want. It's going to be bad.
I mean, okay.
And you guys ran around being assholes the whole time. I will say you guys because you're like defending Israel. But like you're running around being assholes this whole time. You're going to pay the consequences inevitably.
I mean, yeah. Listen,
We are.
fine. I mean, like I understand that the point you're making there, but just like even if we kind of really strayed away because I was like taking Israel out of the equation. I mean, they hate America. Iran can't stand. They can't stand us. So I
Wonder
mean,
why,
they've
Richie?
they've openly
Why?
called for us to be eradicated as well.
Why, Richie?
Yeah, there's a history of issues that go
Maybe because we're
quite far. But I'm just saying.
we're talking about bombing their country right now.
Yeah, there's one,
That might be why.
The United States is an aggressor.
they are aggressors a lot of the time. Yeah, because obviously, well, I mean, America is expected to stand up and basically fight all this shit off. Everyone expects us to do this. I mean,
Richie,
Okay, go to
as
war.
as a former Catholic, I can criticize the church. I can say yes, there are too many P3DOs, and the church doesn't do anything for decades. Has not done anything about it. In fact, all they've done is take out insurance so that if they get sued for P3DO activity, right, they have this insurance to make a payout. Why don't you do that? Call out the IDF and be like, it has nothing to do with you being Jewish, Richie.
well, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, sure. I mean,
There are plenty
obviously,
of Jewish people on this app who advocate for Palestine, to free Palestine, and to have the IDF, have the Israeli government stop what they're doing. You know who Good Trouble is? He's Jewish. He's standing on the right side of history. Why can't you? Like, grow
I
a
mean,
spine.
I can hold two positions that kind of like contradict each other somewhat. These things aren't mutually exclusive. I do denounce obviously the behavior of the IDF when it comes to like any forms of what is perceived as terrorist attacks or things like that. But I also do. I would hope you would also understand, or at least agree, that you don't believe that Hamas should be attacking Israel. So let's say there was some sort of peace treaty. I don't think Hamas would ever stop because Hamas's agenda is to literally also eradicate Israel. So I just don't know where like where the solution would even lie. So it's like, yeah, let's say
Well, I
tomorrow
mean,
Israel stopped everything. I mean, we can comfortably
Did
say
you
Hamas will attack Israel again.
did you feel the same way about the PLO?
What about it?
Do you feel that they were like trying to eradicate?
You mean the Palestinian Liberation Organization? Like them?
Yeah.
Oh, what was the question about them? Sorry.
Do you feel the same way about them that you do about Hamas?
No, of course not. Of course not. I mean, the Palestinian Liberate, they aren't Hamas. They're a separate entity.
I
I
know you're not.
Yeah, no, Hamas is its own separate thing. It's a problem. Okay, we saw this problem in Iraq. Like, well, look what happened in Iraq. U.S. soldiers would go into these buildings. Okay, there would be civilians that were just sitting there at a table. The soldier would turn around and the civilian would shoot him in the back. And as a result, a lot of like civilian. This is the problem we're facing over there. Like, we don't know who is who, and the result is obviously bad. But it's like we saw this in Iraq.
how do you supposed to? You think you're gonna know who's who if you're dropping bombs on apartment complexes?
Again,
Can you name another situation, another place? Can you name another place in the world where we would view that as acceptable
nowhere.
outside of the Middle East? I don't see anybody dropping bombs on apartment complexes in Sweden
Well, no, I mean,
or the UK or Dallas.
how can I even give you a hypothetical? Can I explain to you like would you press the trigger on a bomb sent into a commercial building? Let's say it's a residential building. If there's 3 people in there that are going to, let's say, drop bombs, and I don't know how to give you an analogy. It's basically like a moral dilemma. Okay,
because
it's
because there
horrible.
is no comparison. There is no comparison.
Well, no, I'm saying it's a moral dilemma. If there is a bad person in a building, let's say 5 or 6 of them, and there's 20 people that are good people or civilians, but those 6 people are going to result in unaliving a whole bunch of people. Would you still bomb the building? I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it.
You can't make another
You can't.
strategy like Richie. You can't have another strategy.
Well, what would be the alternative? That's the problem. I mean, what's the alternative?
There's send people in. The reality is this: war sucks. War sucks, but
Yeah.
you don't get to just blow up apartment complexes because it's easier.
Richie, when we unalived Osama bin Laden, did we just blow up the whole place or did we actually go in?
No, we went in for Osama bin Laden. Obviously, that was a different scenario though.
How? No. How?
We wanted to actually legitimately confirm that he was obviously taken out, so we had to go in with the SEAL team. We had to confirm and make sure with 100%
You
certainty.
could confirm. You know he used to live in the U.S. and the U.K. Like they could have confirmed. They could have incinerated, get teeth. They could have done that. They didn't. They went in.
Hold up, let me get the cigarette. I'll be right back.
Now I know you're not caring about Hamas while you
Nah, I think we'll just call it
fucking
there.
on a cancer stick, weirdo.
I think we'll just call it there. To be honest with you, I think we'll just call it there. All right. I think we'll just call it. If you guys want to support the channel, go join the Patreon. You guys can watch the playbacks, or you guys could be tier 2 over on YouTube. And yeah, fun. I'm gonna call it for the morning.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you this evening. Thanks, Sammy.
Yep, I will see you guys at 6 p.m. Pacific. I'm not sure who there is to raid over on TikTok, but if you guys want to go ahead and one of my mods wants to pin someone, Tommy, make a call-in function for YouTube. I'm working on it. I don't have it yet. And I can't, the problem is I can't have a call-in function yet. It wouldn't work. People on TikTok couldn't hear people over on YouTube. It just wouldn't work. So not yet, at least. Dark, appreciate it. Thank you. Everybody, I'm going to see you guys tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific. Everybody have a good morning, and I'll see you then.